Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another spectacular episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a chief burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And in the second quarter, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts. The worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight, and I'm going to say this right now. Y'all know I'm not trying to be offensive towards anybody and their culture, but he is our first one ever Vietnamese host, Vietnamese guest. Dustin, hold on. I'm jumping the gun. He's our first ever Vietnamese guest. That's right. We've never had a Vietnamese guest before. I could be wrong. Maybe he's actually not Vietnamese, but he's going to confirm that real soon. But this man has actually been trained by Dynamite Double J Blake, and he has actually refereed for promotions such as our good friends at New Texas Pro. And now he's stepping in the ring as a wrestler, kicking butt and taking names. Everybody, welcome to the show, the Wind Dragon Dustin Nguyen.
Woo! Gentlemen, thank you so very much for today.
Dustin, thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule. We know you're a busy man, planning the next steps in your wrestling career. But I must ask you, is it true? And I don't mean to assume anybody's ethnicity, but are you Vietnamese?
Yes, you are correct, and you don't have to worry about that stuff. It's okay.
Yeah, hey, I just don't want to. I just don't want to offend nobody. Next thing you know, somebody's like, he's next year like, wait, I'm half Japanese or half Chinese. I mean, I'm so no, I just don't want to
no. It's
be on the outs.
It's okay. It's like yeah. You got it correct. The name tells it.
Yeah.
The name tells it.
So, go ahead. You first.
I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me to y'all's show, and I'm just honored to be y'all's guest today, and I'm looking forward to answer anything you guys want to talk about today.
Awesome. I just gotta say, you are a cool guy. I saw your pictures. I saw a couple of videos. Man, those kicks, man. Whoo, man. Hey, we gotta talk about them kicks, man. Like that's some impressive stuff, man. But yeah, I just gotta say, kudos to making the step from referee to wrestler. Many people have done so and actually gone on to be successful. And we definitely wish you the best with that as well too. But how is everything over there? You're in Houston, right?
Yes, Houston, Texas. I'm pretty much this whole city is like my life outside of the squared circle. It's born and raised, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely got to take a trip there one day. I heard a lot of great things about Houston. I mean, I took a trip there, but unfortunately, it was during the cold weather, and I didn't do nothing but stay in my hotel room and eat food and watch Cobra Kai. Pretty much that's all I did for that one day because I wasn't really feeling the weather. But I'm definitely gonna make it back there one of these days and do a proper trip and do a proper visit and just to see like the sights and sounds that are Houston, because I've been hearing a lot of people saying great things about it. So my interest is actually, peaked now.
It's actually funny you mentioned that because sometimes when I either get out of the city, drive out of Houston, or just think about myself when I either train or do any other leisure activity, I thought it's so funny I was born and raised in Houston all my life, but yet I feel like I don't know like 6% of it. It's such a huge city. it's, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice city. I'm definitely gonna go back real soon and see what it is and what's up. So I gotta
Uh
ask you,
oh,
man. So
am I frozen?
you know, I just gotta ask you, you know,
Please.
how did you become a fan of professional wrestling? What was the match or the event that you saw that made you want to tune in the next week and the next week and further on?
With professional wrestling in general.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, it's actually quite a funny story of how I got into professional wrestling. Unlike my colleagues and everyone else that I've met in the business, where they grew up watching either WWF or WCW on TV. Me, I didn't really have access to television growing up, like not as easily. I had a kind of a little different upbringing and such. I was mostly raised on VCRs, nothing but VHS tapes. You just gotta pop it in. Lots of Blues Clues and lots of Nickelodeon growing up.
Okay.
Um, I was actually fortunate one day that a friend of mine actually showed me professional wrestling. It was a little vintage type of cassette tape. Even for the time when I watched it, it was like, "Ooh, this is pretty old," and it's already older as it is if I watch back on it. I actually grew up watching old Japanese wrestling, like like All Japan, old New Japan, even Pro Wrestling Noah. I'm not sure if it was a VHS tape or CDs at the time. My memory's a little bit jog jacked, but definitely All Japan Pro Wrestling and New Japan. That's what I grew up on. Like during the Hashimoto, Keiji Muto, Chono era, um, back
Ooh.
back when Mitsuhara Misawa was still Tiger Mask 2. We never forget Satoru Sayama, to me the greatest Tiger Mask.
Yeah,
Um,
Japan definitely has some great. They definitely have some great wrestling. I was very fortunate. It's funny. I was stationed in Japan for 3 years,
oh
but
yeah,
I never saw a yeah, but I never saw a New Japan. I was with the Navy at the time, and I never got to actually see an actual New Japan show. Like I didn't know where to go, where to get tickets, but I did go to the New Japan Pro Wrestling store, which is pretty neat. It's small, but there's a lot of cool stuff to see in there. And I took a picture and everything there. And when I go back, I also have to go to the Ribeiro Steakhouse, where I don't know if you know, but
oh
I
no,
don't, I don't know if it's an unofficial right or an official, not what's right or ritual for pro wrestlers, but whenever they go there, they get their Ribeiro jacket.
I've
Everybody's done it. Hulk Hogan, John Cena, everybody. I'm sure Booker T has one too. It wouldn't be surprising. But I just want to check out that place to see how it is and so on. And I'm gonna make it back there one day.
me too, man. Both as a professional and just personally in general, I've heard many legendary stories of all the wrestlers making their rite of passage. I say professionally going to Ribera Steakhouse, which I also hear that's pretty good too. So I'm a I love steak. It runs in my family.
I'm gonna definitely go there and see how it is. And you know, you know, um, and something. I'm definitely gonna try to do like a video of like that in there because it just looks so awesome. Just seeing all these legends pass through there, like Stan Hansen and pretty much almost everybody's gone there and gotten their jackets. So yeah, that's definitely something I want to check out. I would encourage any fan of wrestling if they get a chance to go to Japan to check that out as
To,
well.
to me, it's a must. Most definitely a legendary how do I say establishment
Oh yeah.
over in Japan when it comes to Japanese professional wrestling. And to trace back on how I got into professional wrestling more and more, I didn't actually start like the trend of like like watching American professional wrestling like weekly, only until I was about 8 years old when I finally got basic cable. Remember when SmackDown used to be on My 20?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Um, but I started watching WWE like unfortunately or maybe fortunately, depending on who you ask. Right after, right there we go. I'm so sorry for cutting off again. Technology's not being kind to me right now.
It's okay. It happens to me. It happens to Rob. Oh, Rob just went too. So trust me, it happens. I might even freeze up. Don't. It's okay. It's fine. It happens.
Yeah, I've been going in and out the whole interview, man. I don't know
Yeah,
what's up with my
yeah,
internet
dude. When
today.
Dustin, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is a fun interview. Okay, this is not a job interview. I keep and I tell people like we're chill. We're fun. We're a fun yet professional podcast. So we understand stuff happens. We're not gonna, we're not strict. Trust me. I'm one of the chillest podcasters you'll ever meet. So if it cuts out, it cuts out. We'll just get you back on somehow. It happens to all of us. Ain't that right, Rob?
I'm relieved to hear that. Thank you so very much, gentlemen.
Go ahead.
To what I was saying earlier. Oh yeah. Actually, the first segment I've ever seen with wrestling that I remember off the top of my head. Besides the I remember they start this match off at it was back that episode one time. It was Jeff Hardy versus Shelton Benjamin for the United States Championship when Shelton had golden hair at the time. And
Okay.
right afterwards, I don't know if it's the same episode. I could be wrong. It was during 2008 SummerSlam when WWE still had unique stage sets, which I miss so bad. Oh man, it was actually when how I saw professional wrestling so bizarre compared to sports showcasing as Japanese pro wrestling. Undertaker tombstoning Vicky Guerrero. I was like, oh, it was nice. And she had the neck brace on and everything. It was like it just
Yeah, Undertaker. WWE was savage back then. Oh,
was.
jeez. Yeah, that was. I'll tell you this. That was a great time to watch. I mean, now is a great time to watch wrestling because, there's so much of it around. Now is a great time to be a wrestling fan, especially with AEW now being the other big game in town. It's no longer just WWE, and then you have others on the rise like GCW, and pretty soon, hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers, probably I'm trying to cross my toes. One CW is actually hopefully gonna, Rob actually works for them, and hopefully they're gonna get to that point where they're expanding all over the East Coast and then hopefully the Midwest, and I'm hoping because it's always not good. It's never too good. It's not always good to have a monopoly on an industry, and I'm happy for it because and I hope for it because now you got more men and women. Men and women have more places to work to earn a living, to provide to pay their bills, provide for their families, etc. So yeah, that was a great time to be a wrestling fan, and that was a great time that you actually got to get into it.
Um, I wish I could. I wish I could say that I was consistently into it. Growing up, I was forced to like stop watching wrestling because my family was afraid. It's like, man, why you wasting your time watching that type of stuff? You need to focus on your studies, man. And eventually, ironically, the cousin who showed me wrestling he's like every time I watch it on, he would like snitch on me or something, or just he was like, hey, wait, man, until you stop watching this stuff, man, turn it off. It's like, and no matter how many times I stopped watching, I unfortunately, maybe fortunately to some people, I stopped watching when John Cena was still like really like super like up top there, like during 2011 2012. But I eventually started getting back into it, no matter how many times I stopped watching. And back then I thought I was like, maybe I'm done with wrestling. Maybe I've outgrown it. Nope. Life told me, nah, you're never done with wrestling. You're never done.
Yeah, and look where it got you. Now you're an actual wrestler. So I mean, yeah, we're glad you stuck with it and so on. And so who are some of your favorites that you enjoyed watching growing up?
Growing up, absolutely, my favorite series between these two great performers, Satoru Sayama, Tiger Mask 1, and Dynamite Kid. Absolute legendary
Woo!
classic matchups that I strive to at least be somewhere there, but it's too soon to say for me.
Miss,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you first. Go ahead. I insist.
Uh, Other wrestlers growing up, Keiji Muto, either Great Muto or as himself back in Japan. Actually, nowadays, like maybe around during high school, I absolutely love Kota Ibushi. A lot, like Kota Ibushi is still today my favorite in ring wrestler in the world right now. If like I would pay money, I would fly to wherever he wants to go just to see him wrestle. It's my current favorite
Hon-
wrestler in the world right now. Personally,
Honestly,
like professionally out of the way, like in terms of like if I had to pick one guy, it'd be Kota Ibushi.
honestly, I would definitely do that as well. I think everybody, if they could fly, they would definitely fly just see Kota Ibushi because he is a phenomenal athlete. I'll never forget the time. I think it was either Will Ospreay or Ricochet. They did
It was Will Ospreay.
uh, a top rope Hurricane Rana.
It was Will Ospreay. I
Was
remember it was on the road to Wrestle Kingdom. Kota was the never open weight champion. I believe Kenny Omega was the heavyweight champion. I forgot who was Ospreay's tag team partner, but I do remember that one particular spot you mentioned, Remy. Kota Ibushi does a Frankenstein off the top, and Will Ospreay like he basically did a standing 450 and landed on his feet, and the effect that it gave afterwards. So many people edited like a Super Saiyan type of thing. It was awesome.
Yeah, that thing looked like an anime, like a live action anime. I was like, yo, man, Kota Ibushi, like he's definitely one of the best in Japan, and I am pretty sure. I wonder if there were talks like between them and him and WB like about him because he killed it in that cruiserweight classic. Although he it's I guess it's a good thing that he didn't go there because yeah, it would have been more money, but at the same time, I'm sure all three of us here could agree that, and if you disagree, that's fine too. But my opinion, he would have outgrown that 205 division fast. I would give him like 3 to 6 months until it's like okay, time for him to move up because he was that good. He was one of those that you just couldn't keep him in a division. Not was it's
physically in ring and athleticism stuff, he was one of a kind. I think he still is to this day, even though he's recuperating from injury back like 2 years ago at the OG1. That's probably the last time we've seen him in New Japan, unfortunately. Um, I think right now I'd say I'm happy Kota did not sign with WWE because I don't think I would see him in the same light as I don't know. I don't know. It's weird to say Nakama Shinsuke. I absolutely loved him 2010s when I had access to the internet. um, say but right now, Nakama Shinsuke. If I saw him in real life, I would absolutely idolize
yeah. That's the thing with WB. Like whenever they have,
him.
oh
But
sorry,
think my froze
Kota
up for a
Ibushi
second.
tore.
Okay.
Mine? Oh no,
it
yours, bro.
happens. Trust me, it's no
Oh
problem.
man. Uh, it's like a connection. It's like how Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi when they felt like they had a connection when they first wrestled. I forgot what year it was their first ever match, but I felt something that made me love professional wrestling more when I watched Kota Ibushi wrestle.
To me, one of the best matches that I've ever seen was the Golden Lovers, Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks. I enjoyed that. That was cool because it's like Kenny Omega just clicked with, and to me, I don't care what anybody says. You know, if I had to give a top 10 of for trios, which we did give a top 10 for trios, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks would definitely be up there. But it's interesting.
Oh,
It's
of
interesting to
course.
see like he has this connection with the Young Bucks, but he also has this connection with you know Kota Ibushi. So that match, I was like fully watching that match. I'm like, wow, like it's that was definitely a low key a classic.
It was heart wrenching to watch. And watching back on it, I think I understood why I was so invested to it. Not only because the Golden Lover story was like years, it was years built up in New Japan, and even if you add up Kota Ibushi leaving New Japan, which is a real life thing, so he could heal up and explore himself a bit more. But when he came back to Japan and the Golden Lovers reconnected, um, the 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 story of Kenny Omega correlates or intertwines in that tag team match. Um, and besides having a astounding athletic performance in I think I remember what the show was. Strong Style Evolved. I believe it was in San Francisco or some sort. And when I saw it live on TV in America for the first time, um, it was phenomenal, man. Can can it, I don't know how his back was feeling, but ever since the Young Bucks fought Roppongi 3K, Matt Jackson's back was never the same, and they worked that into the match, and I was like, oh, ah, like taking the weight belts and just like smacking him and shit. It's like, oh man,
Yeah,
it's
that was
I will
another.
never
That was
forget that.
another favorite. That was another favorite tag team of mine, Roppongi 3K. Um, and from the time when I first saw Yo and Show teaming up as young boys, before I'm talking like when they had like the black tights and the black boots. I saw that these two men had a great chemistry. They have what it takes to be a tag team, and I hope they stuck with it, and they did. And I was a huge fan of this. I actually when their first and only shirt that came out, I actually got it when their theme song Rapongi 3K, which is rapped by Rocky Romero, Mr. AKA Mr. Forever. I That was one of my workout songs. Whenever I was like going to the gym, that was one of my workout songs. So I enjoyed that tag team. I hope they eventually reunite. They're both great singles competitors, and I don't think this is the last we've seen of them.
No, no. I still have faith of New Japan writing incredible stories long term, even if they don't follow the same story type um, how do I say approach with American wrestling, especially in the major leagues that they have to write week to week basis on what storylines to continue, wrap up, or start new. Um, it's quite fascinating how different types of wrestling all fans can have an understanding of it once they start to watch it more and more. It's not just to only Japanese wrestling. It's also to UK or European style wrestling, um, especially lucha libre. That lucha libre is its own world, and I found that out the hard way.
Yeah, Lucha Libre is definitely its own thing, and it's funny because some people actually go to Lucha Libre. Some people actually go to from New Japan. The young boys, they have that excursion. Some go to Lucha Libre. Well, like what was it CMLL, which is the
CMLL,
partnership.
that's right.
Yeah, some go to I believe it's Resistance over in England, and some actually are over here in the USA. So I think that's a smart thing that they do. That's a really cool thing that they do. with the young boys over there, and they've produced many great people. So yeah, that's very unique. So I just gotta ask you, um,
Go ahead.
now that you're a fan and everything, how did you go from wrestling fan to professional wrestler? Like how did you? Well, I know you went from. Well, you didn't go directly to wrestling fan. You went from wrestling fan. You didn't go directly to pro wrestling. You went from wrestling fan to referee. Then now pro wrestler. So how did that journey go for you?
Oh boy. I cannot tell you how many times I've met a professional wrestler in the business that it's all the same. Everyone started us as fans, and how they jumped from being just only a viewer and fan to joining the business professionally. Um, Everyone's journey is different, and mine goes on in the same category. It's actually quite personal to say. I took the leap to go to professional wrestling two after my sophomore year in college, and school, as much as I excelled at it, it just wasn't for me. Like I didn't know what I wanted to be, even after all the years. Like I was still trying to struggle to just complete through high school. Waking up early in the morning just to catch the bus was not fun, especially when you're in AP classes. It wasn't fun. I could not remember the last time I ever had 8 hours of sleep in high school, let alone being struggling with tests and all that stuff with college. But after I finally just got it over with, it's like, whoo, do I really want like do I really want to continue with education? What what do I want to do? Because I know I don't want to go to university in debt, in student debt, and I still don't know what I want to do. That does not sound like the life I want to trap myself in. And I thought to myself, life is too short. Life is too short to have any regrets. And I am grateful to live in a time where everyone can have the chance to pursue their dream. And I jumped the gun. There's actually a little personal kick to me joining the business. I grew up in a strict Vietnamese family. Family values of working hard and going to school, doing good in school, and so that you can get a good job after graduating college. It I grew up on that, really strict. If I get any bad grades, like stereotypes aside, like if I get a B, it's alright. But if I get a C, D, or F, oh my butt is not safe that day. My butt's not safe that day.
Wow.
Uh, Actually, I think I was 21. Yes, I was 21. For some reason, I wanted to tell my father that I want to be a professional wrestler. I told him straight in his face in all seriousness and stuff, and what felt like 10 minutes was only like 30 seconds of he just looked at me. He At first he was angry. Now he was like looking at me. He started laughing, and I thought he was trying to be playful. No, no, no. In just 5 seconds, that yelled at me. This is the loudest I've ever heard him yell at me. And he's a fisherman, and you know the fishermen out sea, they gotta yell just to communicate to each other. Oh man! But when I told him I'm a professional wrestler, he yelled at me. Quick question: Is profanity, is it okay here
Yeah,
too?
yeah. Go ahead, have at it.
And I quote, "Professional wrestler, are you fucking stupid, Dustin?" I couldn't tell you. That that broke my heart and spirit that day. And nowadays, I don't really talk to him anymore. But I took it upon myself to jumpstart joining in the business, and that's when I started at in my hometown of Houston. I'm not sure if you gentlemen have ever been there before, but who is your female host or friend that goes on here? Kathy, what's her name?
Kathy.
Yes. The Houston Premier Arena. That's I met my teacher. I don't call him by his name. growing up, as you can see with my getup or my character as a Wind Dragon, martial arts is a very big thing in my life. All my life, all I know was kung fu. I practice it almost every day. I still do to this day. I met JJ Blake last year. I think last year, I believe. After WrestleMania weekend, he oh man, I can't believe how much time has passed when I talk about this gentleman. Um, met my teacher, JJ Blake. I don't call him by his name. I actually refer to him only as Sifu. Sifu means master in Cantonese.
Okay.
Uh, and I'm grateful to that man. Practically saved my love for professional wrestling. It's I was just a fatter. I wish I was losing more weight now, but I was like, you would not recognize me right if you saw me last year. But I was just a fat, not so confident, eager, young boy. Man, I use that term like the nutrient young lions term, young boy. Um, but there is patience, and just taking all the time to get better with everything. Here I am, and it's not just to JJ Blake. It's also to Kiefer Bartek and I'm not sure if you know him. Justin Bulldog Walker, good old Bulldog.
Yeah, I've seen he's the one who's in a tag team with his dad, right?
No. That's just Justin Walker Jr. His dad, that's Bulldog. That's Bulldog.
Okay.
Um, but yes, I have those three men, especially JJ Blake, to help me start my professional wrestling career. And to this day, I still train so that my skills don't ever deteriorate. And also, I always learn something from them. No matter how many times I think I know everything, wrestling tells you every life in general just tells you always something to learn. But wrestling is where I truly understand that lesson.
That's awesome. I'm glad. First off, I just gotta say I'm sorry about to hear about you and your dad. I'm hoping that eventually, like I said, I don't know the family situation, but from the outside looking, I hope that things get better between two of y'all, and you know you can things can just be great from there on out. But I commend you for sticking with it, and you know, um, hopefully we'll see you in the big time. We'll see you in AEW. We'll see you in WB. Hey, you never know. I mean, people, for those of y'all watching, yeah, y'all might be laughing, but you never know. You might see this guy on WB, taking apart somebody with some martial arts kicks. You might see him in AEW wrestling against the Young Bucks or Kota Ibushi. I mean, wrestling is unpredictable. Look at James Ellsworth. Did anybody see that happening?
I don't think anyone ever saw that ever happening.
Yeah, and I'm not hating. I'm not shaming anybody at all, but you got these guys that go to the gym 24/7, 365. They work out, and then you got James Ellsworth that looks like an average guy, an average Joe, and I mean that with the most respect. That out of nowhere gets signed, and now he's and he gets to travel the world and do what he loves, which in that that was great for him. That was a great thing that happened to him. But that alone just goes to show that wrestling is unpredictable. You never know what may happen. So yeah, you never. I mean, look at Luigi Primo. The last time I checked, he got signed to AEW. So yeah, it's wrestling's unpredictable.
Thank you for your kind words, Mr. Remy, sir. I hope things get better one day too. But
Just 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 call me Remy, man. Don't call me Mr. Remy. Just call me Remy. I think Rob is Mr. Bass. He might be Mr. Rob, but Just call me Remy, man.
You can call me Rob Bass. You can call me Bizzle. You know, that's cool.
But
No
funny,
sir, no mister. I'm good.
funny enough, I still get flack when I call people a Mister or Sir or any respectful honorifics. At least in the English language, honorifics. I'm not sure how to categorize. And he's like, "You man, just call me by my name." It was like, I'm younger than you. I'm like way younger than you. Like I'm too used to being the very young man and just trying to acknowledge all of my elders in a respectful manner, which I still believe in to this day because respect is goes a long way. It goes a long
Yeah,
way.
I appreciate that, but yeah, just call me Remy, man. I'm good.
Hey,
Mr.
yeah.
Blue is my dad. I'm Remy. So yeah,
Funny enough, Bulldog said the same thing when I first met him.
there you go.
He said the same thing
Yeah.
when I met him. But again, I'm just happy in my life right now. I got something in life that not many people. I don't know if it's right to assume or not, but not many people ever to experience is to achieve their dream. Is to achieve their
Awesome.
dream, and I
And
feel
like I
like
said, and not like I said, but I'm just sending positive vibes your way. I hope you get to do everything you want to do in pro wrestling, and you know you get to make it to the big time, and we get to see the Wind Dragon kicking butt on TV, and like Dwayne the Rock Johnson once said, being persistent gets you there. Being consistent keeps you there. You know, and I always say another thing to people: self praise wouldn't self praise is no recommendation, they say, but self confidence will definitely get you a long way. So you already got the confidence. You got half the battle. The other half is just keeping at it, and you'll get there. Just keep on keeping on. I just got two questions to because I know Rob is anxious to ask you about your martial arts background, and he's probably going to ask you a bunch of like stuff about if you're a Marvel and DC person, you're about to get 1,000 questions from him. So I'm just giving you a heads up.
Woo!
Look at his background. Look at his background. You see, he got Terminator.
Oh no, I've seen his background.
Yeah.
It's
So
it's still the
I think
same. It's still the same since I saw you guys interviewing my other teacher, Keeper. Like it's still the same.
yeah. By the way, Kiefer. So fun fact. You were on our radar. Because we were like, when we saw your a video of you refereeing, I was like, hey Kiefer, who's that guy? He's like, oh, that's Dustin. Kiefer will tell you if you want. You saw the interview. I'm pretty sure you saw the interview, and I was like,
I did.
Kiefer, who's that guy? He's like, oh, that's Dustin. This was like in the DMs, and we were like, is he wrestling yet? I mean, he's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, he's a trainee. I'm like, okay, well, he's on our radar. I believe I mentioned it too. Yeah, I mentioned it on our season premiere. So there you are. We don't care if you only have one match. We'll talk about that one match. But I just got two questions. So my second to last question is,
Yes.
you're Vietnamese, and and I believe you are. And correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody out there, correct me if I'm wrong. You are the only, if not one of very few Vietnamese wrestlers in Texas. There's also, I don't know if you've heard of this other wrestler. She goes by the name of Viva Van.
Yes, I know.
She's
I
based
know.
in California, I believe. So, what are your thoughts of like seeing a fellow Vietnamese doing the same thing as you? Even having, even going to the extent of winning multiple titles and getting a chance to be on AEW. Like, what does that mean to someone, to you being of the same culture as she is?
I believe there's one other person you forgot to mention, and funny too, because y'all from the same state. Y'all from the same state.
Who?
Buku Dao.
Oh my gosh! How did I miss? Yeah, no, he's in Louisiana.
Yeah.
No, I'm in New York.
Oh, you're in New York. Oh, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm so
So
sorry.
here's what makes us unique. Whenever we talk, whenever we're a full team, our
Yeah.
guests get a taste of 3 states. You have, of course, Kathy, the Cajun, Louisiana flavor. You got Rob, who's in Delaware.
It was Kathy. I
That's like,
was Kathy. I was remembering. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you got Rob, who's in Delaware, who has like the for some reason he has a southern accent. but he has that good old, country boy kind of twang. I mean, in the most respectful way, Rob. And then you got me, who, I'm in Brooklyn, New York. I got the loud, energetic, yo, what's good? Welcome to ringside. You got that. So you got three states hitting you. So, but Buku Dao, I am familiar with him. He's actually in Louisiana. I've heard about him. He's wrestling for Wildcat, I believe.
I've actually never got to met these individuals. I hope to one day though. But to answer your question, going back of how I feel about knowing that I'm not the only Vietnamese person to pursue this journey of professional wrestling, it it inspires me to believe that my choice to chasing my dream was just absolutely worth it. Like I said, man, a lot of people of my ethnicity growing up would be prioritizing education, which yes, you should still go to school. You should still prioritize education in order uh, to get something good in life. Absolutely, you should. But if you feel like if it's not for you, if you feel like you don't know what to do in life, but there's something you want to try that you actually love, life is too short to have regrets. And the chance of any one of us going to reach high levels in the wrestling business, it's quite exciting. Professional wrestling is like the most adventurous and most exciting profession I've had the honor to be a part of.
Awesome. Well, hopefully one day, y'all could actually, you, Buku, and Viva, and y'all could do a tour with several other wrestlers. Maybe I don't know how things are in Vietnam. Hopefully y'all can get down there. Hit up Ho Chi Minh City, and do a little show there. Just so y'all, three of Vietnam's best. Doing their thing in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's always great to like go, to do stuff like that. Like, if I was a wrestler, I'd be like, I'm from Guyana, South America. So I'm like, if I was ever a wrestler, if I got the chance, I'd do a wrestling, have a wrestling match in Guyana, try to get some people down there and do a little tour, for the good folks over there in Georgetown, my hometown. And hopefully you guys get to do it as well too. And like I said, man, y'all are the few, but guess what? You three, you, Buku, and Viva may just be inspiring. There may be some young Vietnamese kid that's watching y'all like, yo, I want to do it like Wind Dragon, man. That dude got the style, he got the game in the ring. Yo, you never know. You never know. And that's why I always tell people, keep going, keep on inspiring, keep on striving. Because guess what? You never know who may be watching you, who you may be inspiring. So, you know, I just gotta say, man, once again, big ups on, getting it done, and get making your debut in the ring and everything. So my last question before I turn it over to Rob is, you know, who are your top five pro wrestlers that you would want to wrestle in the near future? It could be from anywhere. You could think big. It's okay. Like we said, wrestling's
Oh,
unpredictable.
oh
Anything could happen.
man. Oh man.
Who would you
Oh
want to
man.
face in the near future?
In the near future, like within the next 2, 3, or 4 years from now.
Yeah, think big. And it doesn't matter if you're in WWE, AEW, the Indies, New
Oh
Texas Pro.
man.
It doesn't matter.
I have unfinished business in New Texas Pro. A lot of unfinished business, and it goes to my trainer, my Sifu, JJ Blake. I never forgot my first time. My first time in the Texas Contender Series logo. I still never forget the low blow to me to retain his title. As much as I commend him for doing whatever it takes to defend his belt, that was cold. That was cold. So I first want to conquer my mentor JJ Blake again. Hopefully it'll be something different, but that is yet to be said. I also wouldn't mind facing good old Sheriff too, good old Kiefer Bartek. Like
Okay.
him himself is another challenge that I've yet to explore. But right now, there's no reason for us to fight right now. So let's see where life takes us. But in terms of like just generally like just five wrestlers I want to face.
Yeah.
Kota Ibushi. That's already one. That's my dream. Kota Ibushi. If you guys watch Pro Wrestling Noah, Naomichi Marufuji. Naomichi Marufuji is another wrestler
I've heard of him.
Absolutely
Yep.
want to wrestle one day. I'm not sure because all my favorite Japanese wrestlers that I grew up watching in their prime, like Tanahashi and Marufuji, Shiozaki, and all the other greats, man, they're getting up there in age, and I'm not sure if they'll still be active by the time I get to either New Japan or Pro Wrestling Noah. But life is wrestling is unpredictable, as you said, so I'm still hopeful. In America, let's see here. AJ Styles. Absolutely. I would love to work. I would love to wrestle against AJ Styles. There's so many great performers in both WWE and AEW. You have a whole plethora of talent that can create exciting matchups, and all elite wrestling, man. They can create exciting matches that go, oh, I want to tune in on this, and showcasing different styles of wrestling, just clashing in, and storylines just adding on top of that. Stories are the main thing about professional wrestling, especially in America. Like, it captivates viewers to continue being invested. And there's who else would I like to create stories with? Obviously some of the greats in Texas too. At least right now, Brian Keith, Mysterious Q, Gino Medina, etc. Anyone else in America per se? It's hard. There's so many choices. There's Seth Rollins in WWE. There's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in AEW. Honestly, you kind of lost me. If I had to choose five guys, it's like, whoa, out of the entire world.
I know it's there's a lot of great men and women, in professional wrestling. So trust me, I understand. I'd have a tough time choosing top 5. Who would I want to face? Who would I want to mix up in the ring with? But
that's just currently right now. If you talk about all time, that's even harder. Even harder.
Yeah, I could imagine. Well, I could say, hopefully you get to wrestle all those names you called, and you get to make it happen, in the very near future, and hopefully you get to travel to Japan. I could say this. I don't know if you've been in Japan before, but if you haven't,
I have. Actually,
so you know what it is. It's definitely a great vibe. So
the best 9 days I've ever spent. It was a graduation gift from my mom. My uncle wanted to go visit my aunt, but they wanted to go take a little trip to Japan. My mom, she awarded me after I graduated high school. Hey, here's this. I opened it up. It was a plane ticket to Tokyo. It was like $2,000. You're welcome. Go have a good time. It's like $2,000 ticket. And that was the time. At the time, I didn't have a lot of money either, so I had to call and I had to ask my family for favors to have a good time over there. But that was still the best 9 days I ever spent in Japan. A little fun fact: I also ate ramen every day in Japan. For those 9 days, I either one bowl or two. I always ate ramen. Ramen's my favorite food.
I would have too. Those mom and pop ramen places, they hit the spot. I bet you probably went to Akihabara.
Okay. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I went to Akihabara. So sorry.
Rob, you like anime? Akihabara. Remember that. Whenever you go to Japan, Akihabara. That's where you got to go. But yeah, go ahead.
Y'all talking about ramen. I was looking down here to grab some ramen, but I'm like, man, this ramen is nothing compared to the ramen you were having. I mean, mine's that, grocery store, 50 cents a pack thing.
I'm not trying to diss it. It helped keep a lot of people not hungry and stuff, and I absolutely appreciate it because I too also grew up with instant ramen. That's kind of why I'm a little fat right now. But having a better diet, I'm I'm a lot better. I'll still eat it one of these days or two just to go down memory lane. Um, but down the line, ramen will be my all-time number one food without a doubt. Even if I'm Vietnamese, it's like, oh, what about pho or what about bum away? Like, I love it, but if you had a gun pointed at my head and I had to force to choose, I'm choosing ramen. There's a reason why I can eat that every day in Japan.
Yeah, ramen's good. Ramen's definitely good. Like I used to go to a lot of mom and pop places too, and I used to like actually enjoy that. Um, Fun fact before I turn over to Rob, I remember one time I was in Fukuoka, which was like the nearest city to the base I was at in Sasebo, and I was feeling hungry. You know, in Japan they actually serve small portions, so I went to this one store and this one restaurant. I told the chef, I pointed out four items, and he was like, this, and this, not too much. And then some told me, was like, Remy, listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about. So I'm like, okay. So I said, okay, bring me the first two, and if I'm still hungry, I'll take the second two, the last two. The guy brings me out a big bowl of ramen and a huge plate of fried rice. I was like, wow, it's a good thing I listened, man. I was shocked because I was like, I'm accustomed to small portions, but when he gave me a big portion, I was like, wow, that's that caught me off guard.
That took tall order out of a different context right there.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to turn up to Rob. I know Rob has a couple questions for you. So Rob, go ahead. The floor is yours. Rob?
Uh-oh.
You probably got.
I'm thinking back to the internet problem you're talking about here.
There he is.
There it is.
Oh, is my turn now? My bad. Yeah, I was frozen up for a second. Yeah. So what's going on, Dustin, man? How was your day today, man?
Absolutely.
Do anything exciting?
Other than training, no, not necessarily. Just doing what I need to do to get better. As professional and personally, train, eat well, obviously, but just training. Got to watch some videos with my little sister before heading back here to spend time with y'all. It's a wonderful day so far.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Going to training and stuff. I actually did the for our wrestling school. I ref the student showcase or wherever we had one today. You know, some guy rented out school. We had to put on matches and all that. Yeah, I did that today, and then came home. Hurry up, ate something real quick, and got on here. Chat with you, man.
Yeah.
So, man, I gotta ask. You ref. You were a ref too, man. I gotta ask. A fellow ref, man. What was that refing experience like, man? I always think, man, like, getting into it is fun. You know what I mean? Like, you get to see the matchups. You have like awesome wrestlers, so you get to see it like up close and personal, and it is like, I always think wrestling's fun. You know what I mean?
Oh man, the funny story of how I got into reffing, I just felt when I was watching some of my senior classmates to like doing practice matches, like at the place where I train, but guys will always the advanced guys would always have practice matches at least once or twice before the end of the lesson, and JJ Kiefer and Bulldog would be there to critique them and to tell them what they need to improve on. And actually, some lessons are based on those critiques. Certain days, like, hey, remember this critique? Yeah, we're gonna work on that today. And they mean it too. They don't just tell you critiques and just say, oh, you got to learn your own. Like sometimes that's the case, but when you have a full day dedicating to that one thing you need to work on, it sticks with you, man. It sticks with you. But back on topic, how I got into reffing. When my senior classmates are doing basic 5-minute matches at the end of class, mostly during the end of class. I was bored. I was just sitting there bored. Like one day, I was like, I looked over. Was like, can I referee? Because for some reason there was no referee to make it feel real. There was some officiating so they could perform accurately. To say,
yeah.
And also, I have a huge respect for referees in the business. Charles Robinson, Red Shoes Uno, Tiger Hattori, and Mike Kyoto. Like I sometimes wonder or wish that day-to-day modern day wrestling fans would also acknowledge that referees, along with cameramen, producers, and commentators, they are all integral to make a wonderful professional wrestling show. Even though the wrestlers themselves are labeled as the stars, and rightfully so too, because they have some. It's a whole collective per se. But I just came in there and just remember. Don't get in the way of hard cam. Don't get in the way of roaming camera. Just stay. I learned this lesson the hard way. Stay perpendicular to the wrestlers so they don't bump into you. Don't you ever go behind the wrestler's back because, through experience, it was at a tournament. Bulldog was wrestling against AWOL in a DZW, at a promotion called DZW, Domination Zone Wrestling, based in Katy. They had a tournament, the Tugboat Taylor Invitational on the Houston Premier Arena. They hosted a tournament. First round, it was Bulldog and AWOL. I was still a young referee. Okay, no, not say young. That's taking a proportion. I was still reffing, and when they had the match, I was like right behind Bulldog, and he brings his whole body like, oh, and I was crushed between the turnbuckle and him, and it was oh man, I breathed differently the rest of the night. And on so forth and such. I've gotten better refereeing. Hey, look at that! We got some people tuning into the stream. That's awesome. I gotten better refereeing, understanding how TV wrestling style works, and all the critiques of those before me that helped me be a better referee, and in turn, become a better professional wrestler, because the knowledge of viewing how wrestlers work together in the ring to create magic, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah, stay in your safe zones. You know what I mean? Yeah. Always pretend there's a hard cam. You know what I mean? And yeah, you know how many times sometimes the camera guy or whatever is like, man, I had to go down in front of him or something, make a pin, you know what I mean? And he's like right up on me, like, he's a proctologist and stuff, man. It's like, man, I'm sorry, you know what I mean? I got to be up by their head, man. I can't be down by their feet, man, but, it's all good. He understands, but, he just messes with me, like, man, you know what I mean? I can check you for colon cancer and stuff. I'm like, hopefully I'm good, man. So,
awesome.
doing your reffing experience and all, man, have you ever had, like, like make contact or something, when you go out and wrestle, you make your entrance, you look at fans or something, make that eye contact, you get that connection. Like, yeah, you ever done that as a ref or something, like you're out here counting or something, doing whatever, you see the fans, just look at you, you make that eye contact, and it was like, yeah.
Actually, yeah, I gotta just actually say that it started around December or some sort. One thing I want to go by. I'm not sure if you gentlemen know this person. The person who helped me majority of my time as referee is Isaac Bouillon. He goes by Isaac Morales nowadays, but Isaac Bouillon, in my opinion, the best referee in all of Texas, besides a wonderful lady named Sherry, and another colleague named Killian. Very wonderful people. But Isaac, he took the time to give me his knowledge of refereeing, which translated into my better understanding of the role, how vital a good referee can be in a wrestling match. But to answer your question earlier, what time? I'm not sure, just because I mainly train and perform at the Premier Arena as of right now. But at a promotion called Premier Wrestling Federation is where it started. I was officiating a Rumble, a big 30-man Rumble, because Royal Rumble season was almost coming and stuff. And so a month beforehand, a promotion called Premier Wrestling Federation, they did a show called Premier Rumble, and 30 individuals came out. And to my shocker, I was one of those 30. Number 16 or 17, I forgot what number, and I had to come. I come in, and the whole crowd, the crowd of Houston, like they recognize the wrestlers that always performed consistently, and when they saw me like a referee, I was like a referee coming into the Rumble and like just do my thing. Like I I wish I was exaggerating, but that night I had the loudest reaction in the entire show, and it was breathtaking. Even after being eliminated, the crowd chanted, "We want Dustin!" And I was there in the back room, like, "No, no, no way!" And everybody in the locker room was really cool about it, man. Like they were just so happy that I got such a positive reaction, and it and afterwards, that very same crowd, both either New Texas Pro Wrestling and in Premier Wrestling Federation, the crowd, they're very happy to see me as a referee, and I also remember JJ Blake when he defended the Lone Star title against a wrestler named Space Tiger Jr. Like uh, Man, it was so long ago. JJ, like he grabbed my shirt and he threw me right across the ring, and I went, and I was like, hey, man, what the hell, what the hell is going on? I was like, hey, I'm warning you. You go lay my hands. He laid. It's JJ Blake. He laid my hands on me, tested my patience, and I had to DQ him.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I know all about that, man. I remember we had a young guy or whatever. He was this was like his first show refing, and the crowd they were hot. You know what I mean? Sometimes they'll go out there, they'll boo the ref. You know what I mean? We'll have like 200-300 people in there. It's like this ref sucks. This ref sucks. You know what I mean? Like
No.
so. Oh yeah. They'll do it. Like I was in a match with I don't know if you know this wrestler Rayo, and I was repping one of his matches. I think he's on ROW or somewhere around there. Well, they're doing that to me. He just stops, turns, looks at me. He's like, "Yeah." I'm just like, well, I remember one time there was a spot. I can't remember. I'm yelling at somebody, get down or whatever, and there's some chicanery going on behind my back. You know what I mean? So I'm yelling, get down off the apron. Da, da, da. And I remember a fan, he was yelling at me, and I just looked at him. We met eye to eye, and he's like, "What are you doing? Turn around!" Oh, he was upset, man. He's like, "What's stuff going on?" I was like,
Oh man.
"Oh man, yeah, the crowd. Sometimes the crowd is great, man. It's awesome, man. I love it."
There was one cold moment I remember. It was between a match between Impact's Giselle Shaw and AEW's Fuego del Sol. I messed up a certain count, and it was kind of a little hard to play off. And all I could say, the crowd, it was a packed crowd that night too. They chanted, "We want Isaac!" It's like I was in the middle of the ring. It's like, oh, I messed up bad. I messed up bad.
Oh yeah. I know those feelings, man. It's like, all right, yeah. Hopefully, something cool will happen, and they forget all about me or whatever, man. So.
Their match actually went pretty good too. They just like continue on with the night, and I had Isaac and everyone else to help me continue forward and learn from that. So it was one hell of a night to say the least.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So now that you're not a wrestler anymore, you're wrestling now. You're named the Wind Dragon. Now, whenever I hear somebody call themselves, the Wind Dragon or something, I think of Mortal Kombat and Fujin. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Are you a Mortal Kombat fan? If you are, man, do you play Fujin?
Absolutely.
That man is badass. Like, when he first dropped on the DLC on 11, I was like, oh man, he's like OP. Is like, yo, I used to tear people up.
When they finally dropped him in Mortal Kombat 11 as a DLC character, all I said was, finally, because he's the one character for Mortal Kombat 4. I wish they touched upon more in the original timeline, but they didn't touch anything with him. And Mortal Kombat 11 absolutely rekindled a love of another god that is not Raiden, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. But believe it or not, Fujin, even though I love playing him, he's a little bit technical to play on Mortal Kombat 11 as well. My favorite character in Mortal Kombat 11, which actually it still keeps to the theme of my love for martial arts, is Kung Lao. Kung Lao is my absolute favorite Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah, Kung Lao, yeah, he's awesome, man. Yeah, you take the hat off, he just tears you up and stuff, man. Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Actually, my most enjoyable time playing him was Mortal Kombat 9. Me and my little brother, we grew up playing Mortal Kombat together. I keep on beating him until one day he finally beat me, and I was so upset that day. Oh man! But I was like, you know what? You practice. I was like, I commend you, my boy. I commend you. But
That's right.
um, I am a big love for Mortal Kombat. Fighting games in general, but Mortal Kombat stuck to me at heart because I grew up with all the video games I had at the time before they were taken away, and I couldn't. For some reason, I didn't ask for it back until I was 18 because I literally forgot about. Hey, can I have my games back? You're 18 years old. You finally asking back? Yeah. Here you go. I got to take it away at like I got 9 or something. I don't know, but I had a PlayStation 2 playing Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. That was a blast. That was a blast.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat also. I had the Mortal Kombat 1 on Super Nintendo, you know what I mean, with the gray, it was just sweat. My friends had it on Genesis where they put the blood code in. And yeah, I remember when 2 came out, my mom and dad, I gave them money and they went to the mall and, put it down on reserve or whatever, you know what I mean, paid for it. So I didn't know you could do that, you know what I mean? At the time, I'm like 10, 11, 12 or whatever. And they're like, yeah, you can pay for it now. So when it comes out, you just pick it up. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and then that day finally came. Oh, I was happy. I think I stayed up all night and I was dragging that next night in school. Just, oh yeah, yeah, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I love combat. Yeah.
That's
Now, did
awesome,
you get
man.
to see the newest movie?
The newest movie, yes, I did. I have I didn't like it. I'm sorry. It was not my favorite, especially how they did how dirty they did with Kung Lao in that movie. They did him super dirty, super dirty.
So, are you more of a fan of the original one, the first one? Like, yeah, yeah.
Like nostalgic wise, yes, to say the least. It just creates so many great memories, especially Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa being Shang Tsung and him coming back and Mortal Kombat 11 reprising his role. Shang Tsung was another great decision they did. And it was no one can ever forget your soul is mine. It's awesome, man. Plus, they made Shang Tsung a compelling villain and actually feel like a main bad guy in Mortal Kombat 11 to the Afterlife DLC. So that was neat too. Neat too.
That's right. That's right. So, Mortal Kombat and all that stuff. I mean, are you a fan? Are there any other martial arts movies you're a fan of? Like, like maybe the Raid movies or something?
Oh, Rob, Remy, I cannot tell you. Not only growing up learning martial arts, I absolutely loved. I loved a lot of martial arts movies, more specifically kung fu movies. Say at least like don't get me wrong, Ong Bak, The Raid, those are some of the best martial arts action movies in 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 humanity. I'd say. I gravitated more because my background in martial arts. I trained in most of the traditional kung fu growing up. I was more of a late 70s, early 80s type of movie watcher, especially Hong Kong kung fu movies. Jackie Chan's Drunken Master or Snake and the Eagle Shadow. Shaw Brothers, Five Deadly Venoms, the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. Man, there were other great movies too. I can't remember the top of my head. Magnificent Butcher. I can keep on going on with how many kung fu movies I've seen in my life that I say are goated. And actually, I have somewhere archived that I have a whole plethora of old 80s, 90s martial arts or 70s martial arts movies. Even all the Bruce Lee movies in the original Cantonese dub. So that was pretty dope. That's pretty dope, man. I can go on further. Like we'll be here for a long while if I continue diving in with martial arts movies.
That's right. That's right. Now, speaking of that, I mean, are there any new movies or TV shows you're watching right now? Because I'm always trying to find something new because I get caught watching comfort shows over and over again. You know what I mean? Like I watch the same thing, just put it on background music or go to sleep to or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm always trying to find something new.
Something new. Well, besides trying to keep up with the wrestling world, which it's getting so much harder with more access to wrestling out in today. It's insane. I've been watching. Actually, I watched it long. I've already finished watching it. I'm still waiting for the other season, new season to come out. There's a show called Warrior. It came out on either Cinemax and it's now on HBO. It's owned by HBO Max now. It's basically back in the 60s or 60s, I believe. Bruce Lee tried to write a story and try to make it as a TV on his own. And I think Warner Brothers Entertainment at the time was like they didn't really believe that Bruce Lee of all people, Bruce Lee of all people. You think of all people, Bruce Lee would be the perfect person to to be the star of a TV show, but business is business, so maybe I can understand that part. But come on, it's Bruce Lee, man. You ain't gonna fail. That's the reason why people remember him to this day, man. It's legendary. But Warrior is it's basically Bruce Lee's story and his family continue on, and in a little more maybe a modern day well received type of. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I'm not sure if the story is the same, but it essentially tells the story of a young martial artist who comes to 1860 San Francisco, and the whole dynamic between old time America and during the time Chinatown impressions of Chinese culture or Asian culture in general. It's I was captivated. Not only that they kept the martial arts action pretty nice. But now I will say this though, please watch it as an adult. Families don't watch it with the kids. It's not kid friendly. Unfortunately, it's not kid friendly. But anything else? I can't say I've seen any shows lately. Like to be honest with you, I have not kept up with anime in a very long time, or any TV as of late. I do want to though. What I did do is me and my little sister. I was like, all right, let me take you down to memory lane. We watched all three seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was like, yes, yes, and she loved every single second of it. So I was very happy.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. But yeah, before I pass it on to Remy, man, I would do want to say, thank you very much for coming on our show to chat with us, man. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you get to go around everywhere around the world, kicking butt, taking names, win gold wherever you go. And I wish nothing but the positive things happen to you and your family, man.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Dustin, I just gotta say, it was a pleasure to have you on here on our show. We really and truly appreciate it. Appreciate. I just had some difficulty. That's why I got some technical difficulties on my end too. So trust me, don't. Like I said, it happens to all of us. But I just gotta say, we really and truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, to be on our show and talk about your wrestling career and so on. And like Rob said, we wish you all the best. Um, with whatever with your path through wrestling. We hope you get to wrestle everybody you want to wrestle. We hope you get to travel the world, not just Asia, but hope you get to go to Mexico, Europe, hope you get to go to Canada, hope just if I were a wrestler, one thing, yeah, I know there would be an AEW, the big leagues are the goal, but one thing I would want to do is just travel the world as a wrestler and just see how it is, and hopefully that happens for you as well too. But before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling? When they want to find out what your next appearance is, purchase Wind Dragon merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Uh, Man, how do I go about that? On Facebook, I'll be quite I'm still trying to see what I would do with on there, because honestly, using going from my personal account to professional, uh well, head scratching there. But I got nothing to hide that regard. But I'm either I try my best to keep all my social medias posted. Again, I'm still new to this technology stuff, so um Instagram. You can absolutely find me on Wind Dragon DN. DN is my initials, but um, and Twitter. I'm still trying to get Twitter sorted out, but I don't know the situation on Twitter on their regard in terms after that Elon Musk situation. So that's a that's a little funny here and there. But but I am mostly active on Instagram when it comes to promoting when the next time I'm going to be wrestling and stuff. And safe to say, New Texas Pro Wrestling is at least right now Contender Series. It's my home. It's my home right now.
Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with that. At least you got a constant home.
Mhm.
You got somewhere you could be. At least every month. And New Texas is on the rise too. I've seen some of their shows, and I'm actually jealous of Kathy because Kathy gets to go and check that out. I'm all the way here in New York. She could drive over there. I gotta take a whole flight to go down there. But one day I'll definitely make it down there. So
One
for
day.
those of y'all, you just heard he's on social media. Wind Dragon's on social media. Give him a follow. He's doing great things. Cop his merch, purchase the merchandise. If you can't make the shows he's on, that's another way you can actually support indie wrestling is purchasing the merchandise that they have available as well too. And like I said, start now. Because that way when he gets to WB and AEW or Impact or New Japan, somebody goes up and like, yo, I just got the new Wind Dragon, I just got the new Wind Dragon shirt or new Wind Dragon hoodie. You're like, yeah, that's nice, but I had his shirt. I got his shirt from when he was on the Indies, back in New Texas Pro. So yeah, I guess I'm the real fan here. So definitely go out support indie wrestling. That's where 95%, no, not 95, 99% of your AEW and W superstars come from. It's the indies. And if our in regards to movies, if I could recommend two series, and like I said, I don't mean to insult
No, no,
AEW.
come on now.
I,
It's
I'm just trying to be safe because people are like, I don't like what Remy said. Next thing you know, Ringside Society gets canceled, and I gotta sell it to Rob, and he probably got to change the name and because people. But
y'all are fine. Y'all are
if
fine.
if I could recommend two series to you that I personally enjoy, Kung Fu, which is with
Oh, with
Olivia
the
Liang.
one with David Carey, David Carey, Carrot. I can't say his name right.
Yeah, but apparently this one is like a sort of reboot. It's an all Asian cast, like 90, I'd say 99.9 Asian
Wait,
cast.
wait. Is the female is the lead actor a female? Was that
Yes,
on CW? Was that on CW?
yes, on CW.
Okay, okay. Now I remember because when you said Kung Fu, it was like, oh no, not David Carradine. Like respect to him, but that wasn't my favorite either, girl. Let's just sorry.
Yeah,
Continue.
yeah, that one's on there, and then there's the new Quantum Leap, which has I forgot what the guy's name is, but he goes by the name of Ben Song. So he's a
Uh,
Korean, and I believe that the actual actor is a Korean as well too, but he's a Korean. The character's Korean, and he's taking over the role of no, not he's not acting as Sam Beck. He's not taking over the role of Sam Beckett, but he is a. So it's pretty much a sequel series from the original that was back in the late '80s, early '90s, and the lead character is Asian. He's not your stereotypical Asian. Like he is, like you don't see him doing like how Hollywood puts it, like the karate. You're a martial artist or something. Like he is a graduate. I believe he's a chemist, and somehow he ends up getting leaping. And now he is actually he's the main character, and I'm very happy because I'm glad that yes, I'm black, but at the same time, I like to see other people of other ethnicities get a chance to be in that lead role because it opens people's eyes to like, okay, this person could be more than this. Like I'm black. I could be more than just portrayed as a rapper or a gangster or an athlete. I could be portrayed as a lawyer. I could be portrayed as a doctor, architect, etc., a myriad of things, So, or I could be portrayed as a middle class, um, middle class work, a hardworking American that has a great family life, a la Family Matters, or it's another good one. Well, I guess the Cosby Show or Fresh Prince. But you
I
know what
did.
I'm getting at.
I did grow up watching Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I have the entire
Yeah,
series on my laptop. I still watch episodes from time to time.
yeah.
Um,
So
it never gets old. See, Uncle Phil wants to choke good old Will. It never gets old.
yeah, yeah. So in that vein, I like to see different ethnicities portrayed in a different light, and that's why I like those. I love those two series. I'm a bit behind on a few um episodes because I was just binge watching Snowfall, which is another great series I recommend. But yeah, I would definitely recommend those for you and anybody. Check those two out. They're really great. I enjoy watching them. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in maybe not in that order. But before I partake in those activities, Rob Bass, the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin, the Tommy to my Ghost, and the Sean Spencer to my Burton Buster. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out your next appearances, purchase Rob Base merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at Rob_base82, and then Facebook Rob Base. And then April 15th, I will be back in house in Delaware, 1CW. We're going to be refing and stuff. And then on the 22nd, we're going to be in Harrington. We got 3 shows that day at 12, 2, and 4, I believe we got shows then. So come on out to the fairgrounds or whatever in Harrington, Delaware, and check us out. And then 1CW at the end of April, we'll be down in Sheraton, Virginia, doing the thing down there in Virginia, making our Virginia debut, So you're down there in Virginia, at Sheraton, around there in Sheraton, Virginia, just, hey, come on out, check out some awesome wrestling action.
Yes, Delmarva area, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. I'll definitely check out 1CW. They're on the rise. They're doing big things. And, there are a lot of impressive men and women there too. And also check out CCW. CCW, their sister promotion, they're doing great things. Their next show is actually, I believe it's called Dead Zone. They're going to be having Japanese superstar Yamashita. Miyu, I apologize if I mess up your name. I know
Yeah,
your
yeah,
first name is
yeah.
Miyu. So
Yamashita
Yamashita,
Yamashita Miyu. Yamashita Miyu.
Yamashita, Yamashita Miyu. Yes,
No,
Yamashita Miyu from
if
Japan.
you go by surname then first name stuff, then that goes a long way. Yeah.
Silly me. I should have known. Especially since I was in Japan for like 3 years. Jeez. Yes,
Uh,
Yamashita Miyu. Will be in will be in America. She'll be doing a North American tour, and one of the stops she'll be stopping at is CCW. So definitely check them out. They always have. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, for those of y'all watching, CCW Capital Championship Wrestling. They are a great promotion, in my opinion, the best all women's promotion in the Northeast. They're doing big things like it's nobody's business, and it seems like every show they have somebody that is from some other corner of the world making their debut there. Definitely check them out. When I was there, Aisha from Australia made her debut there as well too. So CCW is definitely the move. If you love women's wrestling or if you just love wrestling in general, definitely check them out. Shout out to Marcello. Keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing great there, sir. And with that being said, if y'all want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool stuff, but I do go to God a lot of cool places. As a matter of fact, I may be in LA later on this week, so you'll be seeing some videos from me on that. If you want to see that, just check me out on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. That's my handle. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue as well. I'm there as well too. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. If you guessed Ringside Society, you guessed it correctly. And we're also on Spotify. And we also have a Teespring store where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have t shirts, we have tank tops, we have hoodies, we even have long sleeve shirts and also, coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. So definitely check us out. We have several designs, more coming soon, and all proceeds from sales of that merchandise, they go back into keeping this show afloat. They do not go back into our pockets. We assure you of that. With that being said, I always forget this part. Last but not least, we have a YouTube channel. That's right, we're on YouTube, and on our YouTube channel, you can see cool interviews like this one, the one we have with Kiefer Bartek, and several other great people, Sammy Chaos, many great men and women in the wrestling industry from not just here in America, but all over the world. All you gotta do is go on YouTube and type in Ringside Society. And once you see that really gorgeous dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with the blue films around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all the videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But as a matter of fact, hey Rob Bass, I'm feeling nice. Should I hit him with it? Should I hit him with it? Can
Yeah,
I
yes you
kick it?
can. Yes you
Oh,
can.
oh boy.
All right. With that being said, tomorrow we will be back here at the same time, 7. Oh no, I believe it's 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I can't remember, but we'll be having all the way from California, the foundation. That's right. M8 and Devante will be. I believe that's his name. This Devante, man. If I got your ring name, man, please don't kill me. But we'll be having the foundation on our show. These are two young men all the way from the West Coast that are good that are doing their thing, and they'll be on our show to talk about their time in pro wrestling and what they intend to do. You know, as pro wrestlers in the very near future. So definitely stay tuned to that. And with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Really and truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could and should listen to. To those of y'all that are going to listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And to those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away and take our merch with us. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. With that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well and aware that everybody and their grandparents and the parents of a podcast. Well, we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for New Texas Pro, and one time for the Wind Dragon Dustin Nguyen.
Woo!
Get your name right? Nguyen?
Yes, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I try.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
What type of podcast are we?
We're a wrestling fans
Ve-
podcast.
That's right, we're the
A very
Wrestling
nice
Fans
and
Podcast.
welcoming one.
Thanks. I appreciate it, man. We strive on that. Yes, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back tomorrow with another impressive episode with two impressive guests. But until then, we just want y'all to do 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy,
Night.
Delaware.
Take good
See
care.
ya.
Thank you.